There is a story these mountains have been telling about themselves for 200 years, and the story is that they are safe, not the people who live in them. Ask anyone raised in a hollow in West Virginia or a cove in East Tennessee whether these mountains are tame, and they will look at you like you asked whether fire is cold. They grew up knowing. It is the visitors who believe the story, the ones who see the blue ridges folded soft into the haze, worn down over 300 million years until every sharp edge is gone, and decide that a place that looks that gentle must have been settled and safe for a long time. These are the oldest mountains on Earth, and they are the most biologically diverse temperate place on the planet, a green so deep and so ancient it can hide almost anything, and it does. Today, we are counting down 13 dangerous animals of the Appalachian Mountains, and we are going to end on one that most people would never guess, and pass through one along the way that the government says does not exist, and that the people who live here will tell you, by the hundreds, they have seen with their own eyes. Some of these you have hiked past, some you have swum above, and the one at number 1 you may have already carried home on your own body without ever feeling it land. Before we start, if you like the kind of thing that makes you look twice at country you thought you knew, subscribe. It genuinely helps. And I want one thing from you while you are here. Which stretch of these mountains are you watching from? And if you have ever seen something out here that you were told was not possible, tell me what it was and where. I read every one of them. Let's get into the list. Number 13. The Copperhead. We start with the snake you have most likely already stepped over without knowing it. The copperhead lives across nearly the whole Appalachian range, from Alabama to New England, and it accounts for more venomous snake bites than any other snake in the eastern United States. Somewhere around 2,900 Americans a year, close to 2 in 5 of every venomous bite in the country, come from this one animal. And it almost never kills anyone. That combination, common bite and rare death, is exactly why the region stopped watching for it. The copperhead does not want to be found. Its copper and hourglass bands dissolve into dead leaves so completely that people stand a foot away and see nothing but forest floor. It does not flee. And here is the detail the field guides gloss over, the one an old-timer in Pennsylvania will correct you on. A copperhead has no rattle, but a cornered one will beat its tail fast against the dry leaves and fake the sound of one, a bluff borrowed from a snake it lives beside. Most bites happen because someone put a hand in the woodpile or a boot over a log without looking. The venom is rarely fatal. It is, as one bitten hiker put it, mostly just very expensive. Teens of thousands of dollars for the anti-venom to treat a bite that was never going to kill you. Number 13 sets the rule that governs this whole list. The animals that thrive in these mountains are the ones you never knew were underfoot. Number 12. The Black Widow. Somewhere in the woodpile you are about to reach into, there may be a spider carrying a venom 15 times stronger, drop for drop, than a rattlesnake's. Both the northern and southern black widow live throughout the Appalachians, and they specialize in the exact places people put their hands without looking. Under the eave, inside the boot left overnight on the porch. In the dark back corner of the shed, you clean out every spring. The widow is not aggressive. She is shy, and given any choice she runs. But when she is pressed against skin, her venom is a neurotoxin, and a serious bite brings waves of muscle cramping, drenching sweat, and pain that can run for days. She has been in that outbuilding the entire time. Number 12 is the reminder that in these mountains, dangerous has nothing to do with size. Number 11. The Eastern Coyote. Everyone knows there are coyotes in these mountains now. Almost no one knows what the Appalachian coyote actually is. When the wolves were shot and trapped out of the east, the coyotes that moved into the empty territory did not come alone. Along the way, north and east, they bred with the last remnant wolves, and the animal that trots the ridgelines today carries that wolf ancestry in its blood. The eastern coyote is measurably bigger than the little desert coyote of the west, some of them pushing 40 and 50 pounds. An animal built to live pressed right up against us. It works the field margins and the greenways and the dark edges of the mountain towns, mostly unseen, taking whatever the season gives it, and too often the outdoor cat or the small dog left out past dark. People hear them at night and picture something smaller than what is really out there. Number 11 is the wolf's replacement, wearing a smaller name. Number 10, the timber rattlesnake. Now the snake these mountains made their own, and a lesson in why the honest ones are not always the safe ones. The timber rattlesnake runs the length of the Appalachians, 3 to 5 feet of heavy body, carrying enough venom to kill a grown adult, and it lives in exactly the ground people love to hike: the sunny rock outcrop, the talus slope, the laurel thicket at the edge of the trail. The reputation says the rattlesnake warns you, and the timber rattler, by temperament, is patient and reluctant almost to a fault. It will hold its coil and trust its camouflage and let a hiker pass within inches, choosing not to strike again and again until the once that someone sets a hand or a boot directly on it. It owes you no warning, and it often gives none. In 2022, in West Virginia, a man who kept and studied venomous snakes, a person who understood exactly what this animal was bitten by one and died. If the expert who respected it can be killed by it, the hiker in low shoes and earbuds who is certain he would hear it coming is telling himself a story. Number 10 is the mountain's quietest killer, and it does not care what you assumed. Number 9. The yellow jackets and hornets. Here is the fact that stops almost everyone, and the one the whole region underrates most badly. In the United States, stinging insects kill far more people every year than snakes, bears, and spiders combined. The Centers for Disease Control puts it around 72 deaths a year, and these mountains are full of what causes them. Ground-nesting yellow jackets build their colonies down in old rodent burrows and hollow logs and the soft earth of the forest floor, completely invisible until a hiker's boot or a lawnmower's vibration tears the entrance open, and then, in the words of half the people who have lived here, the ground itself comes alive. A torn yellow jacket nest puts dozens or hundreds of stingers into the air at once, and unlike a honeybee, each insect stings again and again and lives to do it. For roughly 1 person in 1,000 carrying a severe allergy, a single sting can close a throat in minutes, and out here that is minutes from a road and a long way from a hospital. The bald-faced hornet defends its gray paper globe just as hard. Number 9 is the danger you set off with a single careless step. Number 8. The brown recluse. The brown recluse has a fearsome reputation, and the strange thing about it is that the reputation travels much farther than the animal. In the southern Appalachians, East Tennessee especially, and the edges of North Georgia and Alabama, the recluse is genuinely present and genuinely dangerous. It is a small, plain brown spider with a violin shape behind its head, and its venom does not go after the nerves the way the widow's does. It kills tissue. A bad bite can open into a slow, ulcerating wound that takes months to heal. But the recluse earns its place here for a stranger reason, one worth being honest about, because the audience for this channel includes the people who get this wrong. Across the whole region, people are convinced they were bitten by a brown recluse in counties where the spider has never been confirmed to live. The real animal keeps to the undisturbed dark, the storage box, the woodpile, the clothes left folded in the basement, doing quiet, genuine damage in the south of these mountains, while its legend does damage everywhere else. Number 8 is the one whose story outruns the spider by 1,000 miles. Number 7. The bobcat. We are halfway, and if you are still here, you already know you are the kind of person who actually wants to know what shares this country with you. So if you have not yet, this is the place to subscribe, because from here up, we get to the animals people flat refuse to believe are real. With the wolf and the cougar gone from most of these mountains, the bobcat has quietly become one of Appalachia's apex predators, and almost no one ever lays eyes on one. Twice the size of a house cat, it hunts the seam where forest meets field, and in good country, it can live at roughly double the density of coyotes while staying essentially invisible. It moves at dawn and at dusk. It keeps to cover. It is gone before the shape has finished registering. And the people who do glimpse one so often refuse to believe it that they reach for an explanation. Somebody's exotic pet must have gotten loose, because the truth, that a wild cat runs a hunting circuit through the woods behind the house, is harder to sit with than the lie. Number 7 is the ghost near the top of the food chain, and it has been watching trails you walk every week. Number 6. The black bear. Everyone knows there are black bears in the Appalachians. What stops people cold is the density. Great Smoky Mountains National Park holds an estimated 1,500 to 1,900 black bears. That is roughly 2 bears for every square mile. The densest black bear population in the country, at every elevation, from the town sidewalks of Gatlinburg to the summit of the highest peak in the east. A big male runs 250 pounds in summer and considerably more by fall, hits 30 miles an hour, and climbs far better than you do. Real attacks are rare, and most bears want nothing to do with a person. But that arithmetic shifts fast around human food. In recent years, the park has closed trails and backcountry shelters after bears grew bold enough to drag off packs, and in at least one case to bite a sleeping camper. A fed bear loses its fear, and a bear with no fear is a different animal than the one the brochures promised. Number 6 is the one you knew was here, in numbers you did not. Number 5. The fisher. Now the animals start to genuinely surprise, and the country starts handing back things it had lost. The fisher is a dark, low, muscular member of the weasel family, the size of a small dog, and it is one of the few predators on Earth that routinely kills and eats porcupines, flipping them onto their backs to get past the quills. For most of a century, it was gone from these mountains, trapped out for its fur and starved of the deep forest it needs. Then, it was quietly brought back. In 1969, West Virginia traded wild turkeys to New Hampshire for 23 fishers and turned them loose in the Monongahela National Forest, and from that one handful, the animals spread across the state and into Virginia, Maryland, and Pennsylvania. There may be well over 1,000 in West Virginia today. Almost no one ever sees one. But they are out there in the older woods, ferocious for their size and famous for a scream in the dark that has fed mountain folklore for generations. Up in Maine, when a pet dog or cat simply vanishes, the old line is "the fisher got him." Number 5 is a predator most people do not know exists, and it walked back into these hills on the strength of 23 animals. Number 4. The golden eagle. When you picture a golden eagle, a 7-foot wingspan, talons built to crush bone, you picture the American West. Open country, big sky. You do not picture a fog-choked Appalachian hollow in the dead of January. And yet a small, secretive population of golden eagles breeds in the wilds of northeastern Canada and comes south every winter to live along the spine of these mountains, concentrated in the high forests of West Virginia and Virginia. They are almost impossible to see, and how we know they are there at all is its own quiet story. Unlike their western cousins that hunt in the open, these eastern golden eagles winter deep in remote, high-forested country far from people. Biologists study them almost entirely through motion-triggered cameras baited with roadkill deer, strung along the ridgelines from Alabama to Quebec, because that is the only way to prove a bird this powerful has been passing overhead all winter, unseen, strong enough to take a fox or a young deer. And the people who do see one and say so are so routinely doubted that many of them stop saying it. Number 4 is the Western legend that has been wintering in the eastern woods the whole time. Number 3, the elk. For a century and a half, one sound was missing from these mountains, and almost no one alive knew it had ever been here: the bugle of a bull elk in the fall. Eastern elk were hunted out of the Appalachians by the middle of the 1800s, so completely that a person could live a full life in these hills and never know the animal had ever belonged to them. Then, in 2001, biologists released 25 elk into the Cataloochee Valley of the Great Smokies, and 27 more the year after. They stayed. That herd has grown past 250 and spread out of the park, and Kentucky's separate reintroduction into the old coal country has swelled into the thousands. These are not deer. A bull elk stands taller at the shoulder than a man and can weigh 700 pounds, and in the autumn rut, flooded with hormones and guarding his harem, he will drop that rack and drive it into anything he reads as a rival, which has more than once included a person who walked in too close for a photograph. The park now makes it a crime to approach one within 50 yards. Number 3 is the giant that vanished for 150 years and was carried back in by hand. Number 2, the ghost cat. Now the animal this whole video has been walking toward. The one the government says is not here. The one the people who live here will tell you, by the hundreds, that they have seen. Start with what is documented, because it matters. The eastern cougar, the big tawny cat that once ranged this entire spine from Canada to Georgia, was hunted and starved out of these mountains by the early 1900s. In 2011, the U.S. Fish and Wildlife Service formally declared the eastern cougar extinct and delisted it in 2018. The National Park Service still lists the mountain lion as extirpated, gone from the Great Smokies. That is the official record, and the official record is not lying. And here is the part the official record leaves out. The animal that biologists called the eastern cougar was never actually a separate creature. Genetic work established that the cougars of the East were the same animal as the cougars of the West, one species, and that cats have always moved between the two. And the western cougar is not gone, it is expanding. In 2011, a young male cougar was struck and killed by a car in Connecticut, and when they ran his DNA, they traced him step by step back to the Black Hills of South Dakota, a journey of more than 1,500 miles on his own 4 feet. In 2014, another cougar was killed in Bourbon County, Kentucky, and his genes traced to the same Black Hills population. These are not ghosts. These are confirmed, tissue-tested, individual animals walking east, into and through the edges of Appalachia, which leaves the thing that fills the comment section of every video like this one: the Black Panther. Person after person, farm after farm, county after county, will tell you they saw a long-tailed cat as black as a shadow cross a back road at dusk, and they are not lying about what they experienced. But here is the honest fact. The one a biologist who has studied these cats for 40 years will tell you plainly. In the entire recorded history of North America, not one black cougar has ever been confirmed. Not a body, not a hide, not a verified photograph. Melanism, true black coloring, has never once been documented in this species anywhere on the continent. What people are almost certainly seeing is a very large house cat gone wild, a bobcat in shadow, a black bear at distance, or a real tawny cougar that memory has painted darker. The sightings are real experiences. The black panther, as an animal, has never been caught existing. So which is it? Is the cat here or not? And the honest answer, the one that respects both the science and the people, is both. The eastern cougar as a fixed, resident breeding population is gone, and individual wild cougars are demonstrably walking back into this range from the west, right now, DNA in hand. The ghost cat is not a lie the mountain people tell. It is a real animal arriving faster than the record can keep up with. Number 2 is the predator these mountains lost, mythologized, and are quietly getting back. Number 1, the tick. And the most dangerous animal in the Appalachian Mountains is one you will almost never see, cannot feel, and may already be carrying up your leg right now. It is the tick, and by every measure that matters to a human being, nothing else on this list is even close. Consider what these mountains actually hold. The black-legged tick carries Lyme disease, and its range is climbing deeper into Appalachia every single year. The American dog tick and the Lone Star tick carry Rocky Mountain spotted fever, and despite the Western name, more than 3/4 of this country's cases occur in a single cluster of states led by North Carolina, Tennessee, Virginia, and Alabama, which is to say the Appalachian South, and untreated, it can kill. And the Lone Star tick does something stranger than any venom on this list. Its bite can rewire a person's immune system into alpha-gal syndrome, a sudden and sometimes permanent allergy to red meat, to beef, to pork, to anything from a mammal, and the number of Americans now living with it runs into the hundreds of thousands, with the hot zone running straight up the middle of these mountains. There are no fangs here, no claws, no warning of any kind. A creature the size of a poppy seed climbs onto you from the tip of a blade of grass beside the trail, and it rides home in the crook of your knee or the back of your neck, and it does not hurt, and weeks later, something in your blood is simply not what it was. Every other animal on this list hides in the country. This one hides on you. Number 1 is the smallest thing in these mountains, and the one most likely to change your life. So here is what this list is really about. It is not fear. These are some of the most beautiful mountains on the continent, worth every mile a person can put on them, and the people who live in them have always known both things at once, that the country is gentle to look at and serious to live in. That was never the tourist's story to tell. There is one animal we did not count, and the people who watch these videos name it more than any other, and they are right to. The most dangerous thing that moves through this country has always been the human being, the one who fed the bear until it lost its fear, who drained the swamp and shot out the elk and trapped the last fisher, who put a hunting preserve on a bald and let the boars loose, who looked at the oldest mountains on earth and decided they were tame. The animals only ever did what the country built them to do. The copperhead is still in the leaf litter beside the trail. The boar is still moving through the dark on the far ridge. And somewhere on a back road at dusk, in a county where the wildlife office swears it cannot be, a long-tailed cat is crossing from one ditch to the other in a single unhurried motion, and the person who sees it will spend years being told they saw nothing at all, waiting the way these mountains have waited since long before there was anyone here to walk through them and call them tame.